Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for the week of November 10th. You have this Seer card. It says, follow your intuition. You have this Winds of Change card. It says, your surroundings will undergo a transition. So definitely could be a change for you coming in your environment or whatever, which has been coming up for you for quite a long time, Libra. And that there could be some sort of environmental change. It is really important for air signs to listen to their intuition at this time. I think that Neptune and Pisces, it's retrograde, and that can be a little bit tricky as far as intuition is concerned, because it's not like Neptune and Pisces is like always good for intuition, but when it's retrograde, it can be a little bit like delusional. We can kind of like over exaggerate what we are feeling, basically. It's not really a bad thing. We just need to pay attention to what we're feeling and, what we're thinking, we're hearing, and things like that. And as long as we pay attention, we will be fine. You start here with the Four of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. I do feel like there's like a little bit of a shakeup here, but it looks like a good shakeup. You do have the Tower, but it's coming up in the area of the good stuff. And so the Tower and the good stuff can sometimes represent getting to the bottom of something, that has been confusing or that you haven't been clear on or haven't understood, right, in your life. We've had Pluto went retrograde this year, and it only just went direct recently. And Pluto retrograde is about getting to the bottom of something. And so even though Pluto is direct, that's good, because usually when it goes direct, we kind of solve a problem, or we can get to the bottom of something that has been causing us an issue. And it seems to me like that's what's going on here, is like you're getting some answers this week, or you're getting to the bottom of something that you've been dealing with. You have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. This castle back here is meant to look like it's crumbling. And so the Ace of Wands can represent starting something new. It's a passionate new beginning. It can represent an inspiration or an idea that's coming in for you that you're very passionate about, that you really want to work on. And also you have the Two of Wands. On the Two of Wands, he is reaching forward and grabbing onto one wand. He is also standing at the top of a castle on that card. So, it can be, when these two come up together, and also just everything else that's going on here, it looks to me like you're kind of maybe moving on from something and starting something new in your life. The thing about the Two of Wands is we don't have to like completely let go of something. That castle still exists on the Two of Wands. So the thing about the Two of Wands that's a little bit tricky is sometimes I think we can get a new idea to start something new, but we could be worried that we're going to be missing out on something that we've been doing for a long time. But really, the way to look at it is that you are building upon something that you have already built in your life. You're not starting from scratch. You are starting from a place of knowledge and wisdom and lessons and astrology and everything that you've been through. And so I feel like you need to hear that, Libra. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, time to go, for sure. I do feel pretty good about this Knight of Pentacles. It's like the Knight of Pentacles is the only knight in the tarot that isn't moving, but he can represent making progress. And not only that, we have the Ace of Pentacles right here. It's like these two look very similar. It's like the hand with the pentacle and the hand with the pentacle right here. So, sometimes I think when I have something like this, like the Knight of Pentacles to the Ace of Pentacles, you could be looking at an opportunity, and then it's like you see more potential in the opportunity the more you study it or the more you look at it. So with the Ace of Pentacles can just be an opportunity that has potential. And if you're getting any new opportunities this week, it might be worth it to kind of, take a second look, or to, really study the opportunity, because it's like the more you study it, the more opportunity you kind of can see. And that's what I would, pay attention to there. So let's see. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Two of Pentacles. Again, I feel pretty good about this. Like, I feel like you're just busy this week. I feel like you're taking action this week. Two of Pentacles, like work hard, play hard. And, sometimes I think that can be telling the person I'm reading for that they need to balance the energy. But I kind of feel it's just saying you're balancing the energy right now. There's like nothing that you necessarily need to do. I feel like you're like putting in the work, making things happen. So again, overall, I feel pretty good about that. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Seven of Wands. Yeah, it's like you're ready for an opportunity at this time. You have two aces, so two aces is a definite new beginning coming in for you. The Seven of Wands can sometimes say that you feel like you're not ready. He feels a little bit rushed. He has a shoe and a boot on his foot right here. And so the story of the card is that he had to rush out of his home and to defend his position, and he feels like he wasn't ready. But really, the whole point of the Seven of Wands is that you are as ready as you're going to be. So you might as well get started or get to work if you're working on something, or if you're having a new beginning, then that would be good. I always think of also keeping things to yourself with the Seven of Wands. So if you're working on something that hasn't fully been built up yet, if you're working on a new idea, a new business, a new relationship even, or if you're thinking about getting a job, you might just want to keep that to yourself right now until you actually get it right. Because sometimes the Seven of Wands is like needing to protect an idea, even if it's a relationship. Again, if you get into a new relationship and you tell the wrong person, they can ruin it, right? So whatever it is, I would keep it to yourself. With the Knight of Pentacles, very good. You have the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles. I really love readings like this because all the cards are playing very nicely together here, Libra, and it kind of suggests that there will be a nice flow to your week. You have the vision, but you're not sure how you're going to get there, right? And so really there is no good answer with the moon. The moon comes up, the moon goes down, sun comes up, right? The moon is temporary. So this tells me that you understand, or at least you have an idea of what your Ten of Pentacles in life will look like or could look like. And the moon is kind of just like the in-between time. It's like needing that time where you have to get started and you don't know all the answers, but no one ever really does. So, it kind of just says that there might be a period of time where you're kind of wandering around in darkness, trying to get to your ultimate vision for your life. But it basically is saying you can get there. We have it again right here. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Losing Teeth card. It says self-image, fear of loss, and life changes. Yeah, you have a lot of change cards here. You have this Naked in Public. It says vulnerability, shame, and underprepared. Or unprepared, I think. Yeah, unprepared. So, again, I think you're as ready as you're going to be, is basically what this is saying. And, maybe you do feel a little bit naked in public, but, I would encourage you to get started on whatever this is that you're thinking about starting. It's an amazing time for self-image for you, Libra, and this shows up quite a bit for you as well. So anything you can do to build a positive self-image is going to be a good thing with that card as well. I would keep it positive. You have the Two of Wands, the Moon, and the Ace of Pentacles. Two of Wands is about taking the lead and really making something happen. So with the Two of Wands, we have to grab on to this wand and get out into the world and basically leave our comfort zone behind. So you are being asked to leave some sort of comfort zone behind and to start, working or building towards something new. And that's exactly what I would do with the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands also wants us to experience new things, right? I always say that the Two of Wands is imagine if you've only ever used salt and pepper on your food for your entire life and you go to Morocco, right? And you have all these spices, and that is the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands says there is a big, huge, wide world out there with billions of experiences that you could have. And the Two of Wands wants us to go have more experiences just to experience variety in life. And I would encourage you to do that. You have the Moon. Again, I think this is the part of the reading that you have to get over, right? For lack of a better term. It's the not knowing. It is the fear of the unknown. The fear of getting something wrong or making a mistake. It's like part of the fool's journey. He has to face the moon. And you also, the Naked in Public card says vulnerability. We have this lobster right here, and the lobster, they don't move very well on land. They are wearing their emotional armor. So the moon says that for us to be successful, we have to open up. We have to release or let go of our emotional armor so that we can ground something in reality, so that we can be on land, so that we can take something from the emotional to the real world, basically. And, this is kind of a challenge that everybody is facing, whether they realize it or not, because of Neptune and Pisces. This is the last hug and a kiss goodbye from Neptune and Pisces. And, Neptune and Pisces is the big impossible dream. I've been saying this for years. Like, if there was ever a time where you could accomplish your 10 of Pentacles, it would be right now. Are you going to accomplish it right now, overnight? No, it's going to take time. But you have to take the first step. And if you do that, then you will eventually get there. Plain and simple. You have the Ace of Pentacles, so clearly you are getting the opportunity to go on this journey, or you're getting an opportunity that will take you on this journey that you're thinking about going on here. And I definitely would with the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles is also a card of kind of planting a seed. We have to really nurture the Ace of Pentacles into existence. And then you go up here to the Star. So the Star says if you're going to commit to something, you have to go all the way. She's just dipping her toes in the water here on the Star card, but I feel that she has to go all the way. With the Two of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune. This is like fortunate changes happening for you right now. We have all these change cards showing up in this reading. I'm not sure what these last two cards are, but you do have a bunch of change cards. The Wheel of Fortune is, like I said, a change in your fortunes or a fortunate change. But the change is going to come from leaving a comfort zone with that Two of Wands. And it could be leading to, wealth, abundance, success, whatever you want. With the Moon, you have the Magician. The Magician is kind of pointing over to the Star. So the Star is about having a North Star, having that guiding light that you work towards no matter what. So, one of my favorite people of all time, Les Brown, says your reason why will be your rod and your staff to comfort you when you're, trying to build something amazing in your life. And so we have to have that, why, that star, that big vision. 10 of Pentacles, same thing. 10 of Pentacles is about having that vision of what your ultimate dream life would look like. And I always say, do we ever really accomplish the perfect life? No. But I think working towards it will make your life better, significantly better. And so I think this is about maintaining, holding the vision. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Chariot. Yeah, very good reading here, Libra, and very motivational. And I would also say that the Chariot is a card of willpower. It says where there's a will, there's a way. So if there's something you want to accomplish, if you want it bad enough, you will accomplish it no matter what. You even have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. It says when you know that you know, when you truly brainwash yourself into believing that there is no other way than for you to be successful, then that'll be true. So I feel that you are kind of charging towards success here, Libra, or you're about to be charging towards success, which is good. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have my favorite card in this deck, this Serendipity card and this TikTok card as well. The Serendipity card, there's this lady being lifted up by luck, by a 4-leaf clover. So I really do feel luck is on your side. It is a pretty lucky month, and I've said it to almost everyone this week, or, this month is lucky, but this week is lucky as well. We have this grand water trine, which is forming up with Jupiter and Cancer, and so it's pretty lucky. And the problem, I guess I would say, is that we have to be emotionally vulnerable. We have to really use our intuition and trust our intuition. And we also have to take the first step. We have to take something from that water emotional world that just feels good, but we're not sure if it's going to work out. We have to bring it down to earth. And that's where the luck will come from with these cards. The TikTok card is saying get moving. You have the 10 of Pentacles, the Star, and the 5 of Pentacles. By the way, Libra, make sure to like and leave a comment. Really helps me out. But you have the 10 of Pentacles, which is everything you want and desire in your life. The 10 of Pentacles is the tree of life. So, it can be anything. It doesn't have to just be money that you are attracting. One thing I am getting is learning. The 10 of Pentacles has an alternative meaning. This guy here, instead of being the patriarch of the family, he can be a beggar, and he's coming and bringing this family a gift. And so he represents a person who has nothing to give, who is coming and bringing a gift to the family. And so basically for us, when we get the 10 of Pentacles, it can say that there's information that exists about whatever you're working on, whatever you're doing, that if you found that information would be very helpful. So we have to kind of look, we have to look for information, and the other thing is that it can be information that comes from an unlikely source. It's sometimes children say things to us that I think people are oh, they're just kids, what do they know? But I don't know, maybe it's intuitive, right? So we have to kind of study with this energy. You have the star. Again, I think holding your vision, critically important. I feel like there is a lot of hope coming in for you. This is the card of hope, faith, and renewal. So I don't normally say that, but I do feel like something hopeful could be happening for you, or something that makes you feel hopeful. This could be you finally like seeing the light with the moon card. The moon is the full moon. And so the moon, if you've ever been outside on a full moon, it casts shadows, but some of those shadows are illusions. Some of those shadows might be real. They might be fake. A bush could be a shadow, or it could be a bush during a full moon. And so with the star, I almost feel like you're seeing the light, or you're kind of like finding something to grab onto that pushes you through the moon period, which of course is good. Also with the star and the tower, the star comes up after the tower, even though we have the star before the tower. And so with the tower and the good stuff, the star here could represent you avoiding a tower moment, or kind of healing from one that has already happened. You have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness. It can represent like needing to tap into your resources, or needing to look at how you do use your resources. I'm pretty sure that you always get like the Queen of Pentacles with me, and she is also resourceful. So I think you have learned many lessons here, Libra, like over the years, about being resourceful. The Five of Pentacles also wants you to not call attention to your weaknesses. So we have to, it's like there are many things that you're probably not good at. That's perfectly fine. The Five of Pentacles wants you to say, what am I good at? And how can I make this thing that I'm trying to make happen in my life happen? And that's really what I would focus on with the Five of Pentacles. Here you go. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have a star. I think there's like some sort of shakeup happening. Like I said at the beginning of the reading. Is it bad? No, I think it's a good shakeup. The Tower is about seeing reality and getting down to reality. Those people have been ignoring reality. That's why they're falling out of the tower, so they can see things for how they actually are. It kind of reminds me of Louise Hay, right? She used to say, it's like, a lot of spiritual people will say, oh, but we shouldn't focus on problems. But she would say, like, well, if there's dirt on your floor, if you can't see it, how can you sweep it up, right? So it's like sometimes we do have to see that there is a frickin' problem in our life so that we can fix it. And I feel like some of you, it's like you could be seeing some things that need to be fixed, but, I think it's a good thing. With the star, you have the Four of Swords. Four of Swords is resting, relaxing, recovering, healing. Everybody gets this card during Mercury retrograde. So, the retrograde starts on Sunday the 9th, right before this week starts. So, I don't know, just like typical retrograde stuff. Make sure to follow the retrograde rules. Don't sign any contracts. And if you do have to sign a contract, make sure that someone double checks it for you. Kind of watch your words. Focus, meditate, do spiritual work, all that other good stuff. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Of course you do. Is the juice worth the squeeze, Libra, right? So you could be looking at things that you're working on or creating and trying to decide if it's worth it or not to keep doing what you're doing. The Seven of Pentacles really wants you to analyze whatever it is that you're working on and to make sure like that it's worth it or it's not worth it. So you could be doing that. It's another change card. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. So it's clear to me that there is a major change that is going on for you this week. And, it looks like a good change. Probably a change in your environment, like I said. That doesn't mean you have to move. But, there could be some sort of change around you that's going on that's affecting your life. I would say it's probably good, even though we have the Tower. Again, I still think the Tower isn't bad in your reading because it's coming up in the good stuff. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this official person. It says person in uniform, dominant, battle, official work. It says official work, rules and regulations, obligations, responsibilities, and control. You have this direction card. It says uncharted territories, aligning, new experiences, finding your way, inner compass, exploring, and searching. So again, exploring and searching are definitely two key words for you this week. I would be looking for information. I feel like you could be becoming an official person. We have the Emperor in this row, and the Emperor is about becoming an authority, so we can definitely talk about it. You have the Tower, the Emperor, and the Justice card. The crown is falling off the top of the tower. The other thing that's popping into my head for you here, Libra, is that, there could be, the Tower moment could be like a boss getting fired, which I think I said to you recently, or, a boss stepping down or something. So that could open up a big opportunity for you if you want to get into a position of authority or something like that. I do think there could be like a change in authority in your life, like with a boss, or, you know, if there's anyone who has authority over you, or if there is some sort of authority in your life, you know, there could be, you know, some sort of change in that authority with the Tower card showing up here. But again, I think the Tower is good in your reading. I think it's like the shakeup you need is happening, and, you know, it just feels like a good thing. You have the Emperor. Again, the Emperor is authority. The Emperor is your opposite sign, Aries. And, you know, again, we have a lot of energy over the next couple years going through Aries. Mostly Saturn and Neptune will be moving back in next year and by the end of February. And so I think it's an amazing time for you to like take the lead in work or in your daily routine or whatever it is that you do during the day. And, you know, it's a great time to focus on those things. I also think that clearly there's an opportunity coming in for you this week. Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, right? And so the Emperor, he has his armor on underneath his cloak. And the armor kind of represents the fact that whenever he gets an opportunity, he jumps on it. He really takes advantage of it. So if there are any opportunities coming in for you, I would really grab on to those opportunities. He doesn't play around. Again, no star, right? He doesn't just dip his toes in the water. He latches on to an opportunity, and I would make sure that you do. You show up here as the Justice card. Of course, when you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. So I feel for a lot of you that you are going to be taking control of your life this week. You know, it can be balance and justice and things like that. Like, sure, you know, if you're dealing with anything that requires justice, I do feel that you could be getting justice, but I mostly feel that this is just you showing up in the reading. With the Tower, you have the Knight of Pentacles. It's almost like some sort of blockage is being removed. You start with the Tower and then, the Knight of Pentacles, and you end with the Knight of Pentacles. Again, the Knight of Pentacles is the only knight in the tarot that isn't making a move. So, you know, with the Tower here, this could be like a shakeup that helps you move forward. And I'm not talking about move as in moving. I'm talking about making moves here, Libra. And again, the Knight of Pentacles in the good stuff can definitely represent progress. So I feel very good about that card. With the Emperor, you have the Nine of Swords. Again, pretty good. Nine of Swords in the good stuff can say that you are ending a negative cycle. You know, Nine of Swords is like a never-ending nightmare. It's like going to bed, having a nightmare, waking up, being stuck in the nightmare. So I do feel a lot of you could be kind of like escaping some sort of nightmare or getting out of a nightmare situation, which would be a good thing. You know, it could just also, with the Wheel of Fortune, you know, this could also just say you've had enough of a cycle and you're ending some sort of cycle that you've been going through in your life. With the Justice card, you have the Page of Cups. Yeah, I wouldn't really call this a love reading, but, you know, I think love is always available to us. So if you want love, definitely could be an admirer. The Page of Cups has this fish in this cup here, and I always say that that fish might not exist. It might be part of his imagination. So the whole entire reading definitely does say there is something in your imagination that you need to kind of manifest here in the 3D, here on Earth. And I feel the Justice card with that Page of Cups is saying you have more than enough talents, gifts, skills, and abilities necessary to be able to bring something down to Earth. You have this tortoise. It says slowly but surely getting ahead. So again, progress, like I said with the Knight of Pentacles. I feel it has been very slow. I mean, we've talked about this before. I think it's been slow for Libra since, you know, like 2016, basically. So I feel like you're finally making progress. You have this career card. It definitely could be a change in your career. Again, I would be looking for opportunities in career. If a boss steps down, a manager, you know, someone who's above you where you want their position, if a position opens up, if you have a position in mind. Again, I think people forget. You can go to your boss and you can be like, hey, let me do this and pay me more money. They might say no, but at least you tried, right? So I think there are very positive career changes going on here. You have this bow. It says you are highly thought of. Yes. So 5 of Pentacles. You need to believe that you are highly thought of. And I think you are. So I would be taking advantage of that for sure. Even with the star, you know, it's an amazing card for just standing out. You have this fair woman card. It says dealings or relationships with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. And you have this rose. It says romance is in the air. So this could just be you, or it could be a person or whatever that's coming in for you. But definitely a little bit of love at the end. You also have this ring. It says a marriage will take place either in romance or business. Yes, basically the entire reading. There's clearly something going on in like work or career or business. And again, if you don't have a job, it could be getting a job. If you're retired, it could be some other change that's going on for you that you're going. I think the important thing here is that it's a change that you're going to be committing to. And so I think that's what this is talking about. But pretty simple stuff here, Libra. I like it. So thank you for being here. Make sure to like and leave a comment. Really helps me out. And definitely enjoy your week.